Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's aura video reading. Aura readings are done intuitively, as well as I pull cards to gain messages and then to see if some of the colors of the cards that I pull correlate with what I'm feeling. So I was kind of sitting here thinking of the name of my client, which I don't give out in video readings. I keep it very confidential. But I was thinking of her name, and I was seeing a lot of blues. So I was seeing a lot of blues, and blue to me is your emotions, your connection with your communication. But I'm seeing more so dark blues, and they also, it looks kind of black. So the background of my spread cloth here is a really dark color. I wanted the cards to pop. But I'm feeling like it's not as dark as the spread cloth, the black, but I do feel like it's just like a deep blue going into black. And that to me is telling me, I feel it's a fear of communication or a fear of expressing something currently on your mind or something currently on your heart. Okay. So the blues also tell me that you're quite sensitive in nature. So you're just a sensitive person, whether this is maybe you're sensitive to other people's emotions, or you're sensitive in general. I'm one of those people as well, sensitive to the fact where sometimes I could be talking and expressing myself, and I'll burst into tears randomly, like no reason type of thing, to the point where it's like I feel almost weird for doing that, because it's kind of like there's really nothing for me to cry about, but I just get so sensitive. So that could be a thing too, but I'm really feeling that. That's what I'm gathering from you right now as I'm just tuning in. I'm also seeing red. And red is your root chakra. This is the very first chakra that is usually planted in your spine, like the base of your spine. But the root chakra to me is also at our feet. It is what we use to plant ourselves firmly in the ground. So I'm seeing red, and I'm feeling like it has holes in it. So in your aura, I'm feeling like there's like little pinholes all throughout the redness. And that to me is telling me your root chakra is a little bit unstable. And so I'm wondering if that kind of ties in with the feeling that I was getting about inability to express and inability to communicate. Okay, so we'll see what the cards say. The message, we'll see if the colors of the cards correlate with what I'm feeling. If they don't, you know, that's okay. Sometimes I go based off of the messages, but I really like the color cards for aura readings because we're just dealing with color, so I want to stick with a theme. But I do feel like your aura, there's blues and reds. Now the blues that go into the blackness that I was seeing, there's also that deep purple, because I feel blue and red will create a purple, a really deep purple hue, which makes me feel like your psychic connection has potential. Okay, so again, I feel like you're very sensitive. I feel like you have the potential to, like, for example, you could be in a room with a bunch of people, and you could just, if you really wanted to tune in and try to connect and feel out these people, you could actually connect and see what they're feeling. You would feel it for yourself, if that makes any sense. So that's what I'm kind of feeling with you, that you're rather empathic. I'm getting the feeling that there is a piece of you that has been wanting to expand your psychic abilities, and I feel that with the purple that I'm seeing, with that is created with both your blue and red aura. But I feel like in order to go into more of your psychic ability, you are going to need to ground, and you're going to need to fix the holes in your auric field concerning concerning being grounded, your stableness, all of that. So if you can go in and fix that, which you could do through meditation, you can do through the actual physical aspect of working on your stability, working on what makes you feel grounded, that kind of thing. Choosing the foods that you eat, maybe correlating red in your daily activities for a week or so. Everything's just aligned and connected in that way. That's how you could start to fix things. So, the way I do an aura reading here is before we start, that's what I do. I like to tune in, feel what I'm feeling. Typically, if this was an email reading, this is where I would type all of it up into a big page of your energetic report. But so that is what I was gathering from you. Next, what I do is I pull cards. So I'm pulling a few cards from the color deck here. Like I said, if the colors resonate with what I was seeing, that's perfect. If they don't, the messages on the cards are what I'm looking for. And then I also pull from an oracle deck to kind of give some insight on the whole core of your reading. So what I want to do first is I'm going to pull from the oracle deck first because my hands are really drawn to the oracle cards. And I'm going to do this reading kind of backwards. So I'm going to pull the oracle cards to get the gist of what were the messages that you need to hear. And then I'm going to pull the oracle or the color cards to get the body of the reading. So generally I would pull the colors first, then the oracle. But I feel really called to do this backwards. So we will see what happens. Okay. Empathy, pain, creation. That makes me laugh because we were just talking about how I was feeling like you're very empathic and empathy came up. So that's a really good start to the reading. This is telling me, obviously, I was tuning in and I was getting what I was supposed to get. I love to do this backwards because it just resonates with me to show if you just trust your intuition, everything will fall in place. So empathy coming up for me definitely is correlating with the fact that I do feel like you are an empath. It also correlates with the fact that I feel like you connect a lot with the heart. That's where a lot of your growth is, okay? You have roses growing out of your chest. To me, that's symbolic for life is within you, okay? Life is at your core. Your heart chakra is large, that kind of thing. I feel like that shows that you have the potential to really grow and evolve in your psychic self, but it's going to definitely take time, okay? But you're definitely an empath. You definitely connect emotionally with people. You could feel other people's emotions. You can mimic other people's emotions as your own. You can absorb other people's emotions as your own, which is why I'm feeling the pain card. So the pain card came up for you. To me, this is an indication that when you are absorbing people's feelings, their emotions, their experiences in life, you will feel it, okay? So I'm feeling that that's something that you've been experiencing, and maybe you've been writing it off as you have been physically ill, or something is wrong with you, or maybe you've been feeling a certain pain that is kind of foreign to you. It's something you've never felt before, and so maybe you made a doctor's appointment about it, or you've been thinking about making a doctor's appointment about it because it's just out of the norm for you. But although I am not a doctor to prescribe anything or whatsoever, I will say spiritually that the pain card coming up with the empathy card is telling me that you take on other people's emotions, and sometimes people who are dealing with really emotional situations in their life will be having physical symptoms, okay? So for example, someone who's going through a breakup, breakups can literally make you feel like your heart is shattering into a million pieces. Headaches, that could be a symbol of, people who are crying too much. It could be, you know, a literal physical symptom that you're feeling for someone who's sick. But what I'm saying is that as an empath, when you are connecting with people, or even if you're not trying to, but you're just naturally open, which I feel is this instance with you, you will take on their emotions and their physical symptoms as your own. So that is something to really be wary of, because as an empath, we have to learn to shield ourselves, to protect ourselves when we are out and about with people. But it's something for you to think about, because if you are physically feeling stuff that you know is not yours, we just sense it. We just know. We know our bodies so well that we would know if it's something that you are feeling that you're just not resonating with, that you know is this isn't mine. That is a symbol, a sign that you've taken on, you've absorbed someone else's pain, which we also can do, but we also have to learn to let it go. So when you want to let it go, I say connect in a meditation, in breathing techniques, and you have to, from your third eye, you visualize the pain that you're feeling, you pinpoint it in your body, and you visualize it escaping, leaving, exiting your body as you do the breathing techniques. That's another, you know, that's a good way to do it. Also, in the morning when you wake up, the first thing that you do before you get out of bed is you should be imagining your whole body being surrounded in protective white light, because that is what is going to help keep you protected as you go out and about and dealing with public, the people, you know, people who are going through stuff. Because you could walk into a grocery store and you are in a sea of people who are dealing with different emotions, okay? So just something to think about. The creation card came up as well, which is telling me that this is a gift, okay? This is a gift of yours, and this is something that I feel you should focus on enhancing and learning more about, okay? So now that we said all of that, let's see what the color cards say. Okay. Well, there's definitely those murky, dark colors that I was seeing, but I don't see any blue, which is fine. That just means it wasn't in the cards. Okay, so the first one that I pulled for you is logic. This is, you know, a yellow hue here. The logic card is telling me that you have the information within you. You have the knowledge. It's just diving in and trusting it. Being logical with the information that pops through. I feel like you're naturally somebody that has to have kind of a list of things to work off of. You are still practicing and working on your intuitive abilities. You're working on being more intuitive and being open in that way. But you're naturally someone who's more analytical. So I feel like that's where you may struggle with this whole spiritual path thing, is that sometimes you want to like push out the analytical side of yourself, of your personality, and open yourself up to the more dream state. And some people naturally are able to do that, where me, I usually live more so in my dream state, and my illogical, rational side is a little bit not there sometimes. So I feel like you have the opposite situation, which is fine. You can utilize your logical, your rational, your analytical personality to help you with your path, but at the same time, you also need to know you got to open your heart and trust that what you're feeling, seeing, and experiencing is real. Okay, so I feel like that's one message there. The next one we have is spiritual growth, which is beautiful because this is in the purple color, like I was talking about, seeing the purple, seeing you wanting to expand your psychic abilities and whatnot. Spiritual growth, it's going to take that That is the path that you are being called to be on. Spiritual growth, and I would also say taking time to Google, study, read about empaths and empathic abilities. You may already know that you're one. This could be a validation for you that this is the right path. But I do see that is definitely it's definitely in your cards. It's what you should be focusing on. Okay. Next we have stabilize. This is beautiful because stabilize to me is also about the root chakra, which is what we were talking about. So stabilizing your root chakra. I do feel like meditation will help you do so. I do feel like you need to practice, correlating red and browns in your life. And it could be symbolic where you wear more reds or browns, earthy tones, or you change your diet where you are inviting more earthy foods into your life, foods that are in the ground, potatoes, carrots, foods that are that literally grow in the ground. That's kind of another way that you can associate your root chakra into your path. Okay. Another way is getting crystals. So, I'm always attracted to the clear quartz crystals. That's my thing. Clear quartz is a good crystal that you could start with. It enhances any emotion or any intention. Anything you want to manifest, it will totally enhance it. That's what clear quartz does. But you can also correlate grounding crystals. So black tourmaline is a really good grounding stone. It's also a really good protective stone. You can correlate red stones. So like red jasper is a really good one. Tiger's eye, I believe, is a good grounding stone. But search it, do a quick Google search grounding or root chakra crystals, and they will all pop up. But if you don't have anything on hand and you just have like a clear quartz, you could totally do that as well. But I do feel like carrying maybe one or two small tumbled stones on you and pull them out and hold them the next time you feel a little uneasy or you feel a little weak, unstable, and imagine the roots in your feet growing and being nourished and growing in deep into the ground where you're standing. That's how you ground yourself. You align yourself with earth. So finally, we have now, and this is in a beautiful, like a deep, deep red color. So the now card is saying now is the time. Now is the time that you start to manifest this experience. Now is the time to, start diving in and reading about it. You're definitely being called to take on this path. This is a specific direction for you. This is something that has been going on for quite some time now, which I'm feeling with the pain card, that there's probably some experiences with pain that you felt was a little off. And then now, that we're doing this reading, I'm going to validate for you that there's certain things that you were feeling and experiencing that were not your own, which is probably a good sign for you. It's probably going to be a relief. But I'm not saying you don't need to, go to the doctor or get a doctor's visit anytime because now you're absorbing everyone's pain. No, I'm not saying that. Always take proper care of yourself. But I am saying that there were instances where you may have felt pain somewhere in your body that you felt intuitively was not yours. That is definitely what I'm seeing, is that you gathered it. You have absorbed it from someone else. And as empaths, myself included, we tend to do that, but we also have to learn to let it go. Because if you keep absorbing everyone's pain, you are only making yourself sick. So learn to let it go, release. Meditations, cutting cords, cleansing. Give yourself a really good cleanse. I would say a solid good cleanse once a week, if not twice a month, especially on the new and full moon. That should be a must for you. Anytime you take a shower, imagine the shower water is cleansing you. That's another good tip. But definitely get yourself into the habit of cleansing and taking care of yourself, because as empaths, we do absorb a lot. Okay, love? So thank you so much for purchasing the reading with me. Thank you so much for trusting in me to read your cards. Anyone who's still watching, this is the Aura video reading. If you're interested, it is available in the shop. And I hope to see you guys soon, and I wish you all the best. Bye, loves.